Well, for more, we can head now to the Cornish town of Falmouth and speak to our correspondent, Benedict Pavio, who is standing by there. Benedict, an important meeting is in the pipeline, as I was saying this afternoon, with Biden and Johnson having lots to discuss, both in range and in substance.
Yes, this is actually going to be a very significant meeting between the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the US President Joe Biden. It's the first time the two leaders are meeting. It's 6 months into the presidency of the US President. And of course, they would have met before normally, but we're not in normal times. We're in this continuing crisis and challenge of this COVID pandemic. So that will very much be on the table between the two leaders. I'm sure they will be talking about sharing vaccines with countries that are struggling very much. And I expect some announcements, significant ones, in the coming hours. I think very much we know will be confirmed by the US and then, I believe, in the coming hours or early tomorrow morning by the United Kingdom. So the talk now is particularly about two things. One is about a new Atlantic Charter that would be the modern version of the agreement that was struck back in 1941 by then UK Prime Minister Winston Churchill and then US President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And that is really to gather their energies, build on their alliances, on their trust between each other to face those challenges with a particular focus, for example, because of the pandemic on that, but also not to be forgotten and overshadowed climate change, a very significant challenge for not just leading democracies, but of course also for the planet. But what could overshadow and occupy an awful lot of time and create some tension in that bilateral this afternoon between the US President and UK Prime Minister is very much the Northern Ireland question, the Northern Ireland Protocol, that regulatory checks at the border, those exchanges between Great Britain and Northern Ireland, problematic despite yet another meeting between the UK and EU yesterday. And given the US President's Irish roots particularly, he knows the dilemma very well, and I think he will be trying to see what solutions can be found to resolve this, because otherwise this could create quite some tension. And of course, I'm sure the special relationship will indeed be mentioned.
Now, this US-British meeting comes, of course, on the eve of this Cornish G7. As world leaders descend on Carbis Bay, Benedict, security has been massively shored up.
It has indeed. This ship that you see behind me is actually full, well, possibly not right now, by policemen protecting the world leaders, protecting the world's media that has descended here in Cornwall. 6,300 policemen drafted from all over the United Kingdom have come here. We met many on our way down, so whether it's from Wales, from the rest of England or further afield. And they are here with sniffer dogs, the works, because we also know that there are 3 different places that are officially for protests, but we also know from different movements, over 30 of them, they want to try and disrupt this summit and get, for example, causes like Extinction Rebellion movement and the climate change very much on the agenda of the leaders and put their points of view. So leaders, as you said, will be flying in and in the coming hours. The actual G7 summit starts proper tomorrow afternoon. It will be interesting to see what other announcements, possibly ones that we don't know yet about, are going to happen. But of course, we hope that the overcast weather will not be a sign of what happens, and that by Sunday we may see a communique with action and not just good intentions.